My name is Harry. I'm from London.
Meghan Markle here.
Today is July 23rd, 2024. It is 1:08 a.m. I don't know how many videos I will have because there were a lot of tweets regarding Meghan, who went out with a friend. There's a lot of tweets about it, but I only share 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I only list 5 of them on my list, but there are a lot. Once I finish what I have on my list, I will go on my likes folder on Twitter and then just go over some of them when they popped up on my timeline. And I also said I was not going to talk about politics, but there are 2 tweets that I came across. I think they are videos. One is from Jeremy Vine in the UK talking about the US politics, and this one I don't remember what it was about. I put it first, so I'll go over it just to share it with you. I didn't listen to any of those videos. So let's look at the background on my channel. Since I might put the first 2 videos on APTS Sussex, I'm gonna check the background. Let me pause. Okay, now I'm on APTS Sussex. There's the estimate revenue, $137.85. Last 28 days, I had 52 new subscribers. So people are watching, but my revenue stuck there. Okay, and views in the last 48 hours, 4,533 views. Okay, so let's go on Twitter. I might put the first 2 videos, the first 2 tweets on APTS Sussex. There's a lot of tweets about politics. You see the squad are talking about politics. And by the way, our part of Pew Service and on APTS Sussex, I shared that Invictus have decided where the next Invictus will be. Was it Invictus 27 is gonna be in the UK. All right, so that's that. A lot of squad, you know, they support that decision. I mean, we have no say. Okay, as a fan or anything, we have no say on it, just to support them. But many of them, you know, the kind of how will I say that, excitement from the rest of the squad, it's not there. But they say they support them anyway. But many of them said their money is not welcome in the UK. So that's that. So let's go to the first tweet. Okay, so this is the video. It's 2 minutes and 13 seconds. A British caller to a British show mentioned Project 2025, which is led by former Trump administration officials, and briefly outlines how bad it is. US mainstream media should feel ashamed that a black in Manchester, England, has done what they have largely failed to do. I don't know how to put it. The US right now is operating just like the UK. Mainstream media, there's like a completely blackout, okay, from what they should be talking about. Instead, they're picking up nonsense. Look how they got Joe Biden to step aside. I did say I'm not going to talk about politics, but sometimes it has to be said. You know, the kind of noise that they made, a very few made the noise, just the same tactic that happens in the UK. Makes a lot of noise, and then Joe Biden, who is not selfish and understand the complexity of what's going on, and he decided to step aside and endorse his vice president, Kamala Harris. As a matter of fact, she just clinched the nomination. She has enough delegation to be the nominee, and then everybody's sticking by her. So now all she has to do is to pick up a vice president. All right, so that's that. Let's go into that, and then I'll come. Okay, so there's that here. That both of them are my responses. So let's go into that. Okay, pause again. There will be screenshot. Project 2025 is very anti-women, very anti-LGBT. We need to talk about it on social media. Exactly. I truly believe so. There's the caller, Paul, said the Democrats should highlight regressive Republican policies and the strong economy to win the American election. All right, so let's listen.
How's your phone working, Paul?
It's fine, Jeremy. It's fine.
Brilliant. Will she win? Will she win?
Well, I've got a few points to make here, and I definitely think she's going to win. Now, firstly, we've had a lot of terrible ageism in this campaign directed at Biden. Fair enough, he hasn't been up to the job in the end. But now you've got a race, potentially, where the really old person is going to be Trump, who, let's face it, also makes gaffes, and that's going to be, the spotlight's going to be on his gaffes more.
78?
And 78, and Kamala Harris is 59, much more youthful, much more energetic, much more trendy.
Yes.
And also, I think she's going to point out all the things that the Democrats have done well, because you've got to remember there's been a lot of achievement in Biden's era, the legislation, the economy's in a good place, and also she's going to point out about this Project 2025, which is very anti-women, very anti-LGBT plus people. People need to research it. We need to talk about it on social media. I definitely think she's going to win, because don't forget, the midterms, Trump didn't do very well in the midterms, Trump.
No.
So
but
people are...
I think you speak for the majority of Britain. You clearly speak for the Democratic Party and for Jeremy Vine. But the truth is, and I think that's what I was trying to get...
Before we get to her, I'm sorry, I'm pausing now. Let's not forget, I don't know, I think I shared it on my community board. Is it Liz Truss, and there's another MP from the UK who was at the GOP convention supporting Trump. So let's not forget about that part. And the other thing as well, which I did not say in my original recording, but I mentioned it on my next video, is that Jeremy Vine, I remember in one video, he said when Trump get re-elected, he will kick Harry out of the US. So it was at the height where, you know, they wanted Harry back and all of that. I have it because I had shared it with you, but I don't know which video that I have it in, because I have a lot of videos, so it will take me forever to search for it because I don't have it by itself. So right now, Jeremy Vine is playing with the wind right now, whichever the wind is blowing, because at one point, you know, when the noise were being loud about Trump and all of that, and they wanted Harry back, he said, oh, don't worry, paraphrasing, something like that, about Trump will kick Harry out, or something like that. So let's get back to the original recording. All right, but let's continue.
The bottom of American voters think differently from us. They delivered Trump, and they may well deliver Trump again, and that was...
she's right. There might be due to electoral college, but the majority of the time, if the electoral college is gone and go based on popularity, the popular vote, the one who has the most vote wins, the Republican will never get into the office, because their policies, their nonsense is the same thing of the Tories in the UK. So if, for instance, they get rid of the electoral college, the Republicans are done. You're just gonna get those who pretend to be something, and then once they get in office, they create their damages. But majority of the time, election, I think even Hillary Clinton, had the most vote than in terms of popular vote, the most vote when she was running. It's just that the electoral college prevent her from winning. Let me look this up. Okay, I don't want to go to all the articles here. There's this here. That's December 2022, 2016. Clinton wins popular vote by nearly 2.9 million. Hillary Clinton received nearly 2.9 million more votes than President-elect Donald Trump, giving her the largest popular. Okay, so it's the electoral college that prevent her. Okay, each state, at the end of each of those votes, one state get a certain amount of number of points. okay, based on I guess how many people is in the country, not by land size. Like for instance, Texas, is it Alaska? Is the, let me see, 1 second. Yeah, Alaska is the largest state, but now when you look at the electoral college, this is what's given after each of the elections of each state. Let's look that up also. I was recording and then I didn't press record. I mean, I was talking, but I didn't press record. For instance, I talk about Alaska. Alaska is the largest state. The amount of electoral college out of Alaska, it's only 3. Okay? When you look at Texas, this is another large state. These numbers are electoral college numbers after each election. Each state have a number. These are the numbers. Alaska is 3, Hawaii is 4, California, Texas, Florida, what is it? New Jersey right here, 14. It's based on population, the amount of people that lives on those states, and they required certain numbers. And I think when Trump was in office, what was that thing where they were doing census? I think he was trying to manipulate that as well. All right. So this is what's preventing the popular vote from going into the White House. Hillary had more popular vote than Trump, but due to the electoral college, it gives Trump the win. All right. So I said much more before, but I didn't record. I didn't press record. So let's go back to this. She's kind of right, but it's the electoral college that's preventing, you know, many white persons from winning the White House. Let me move it back slightly. I think I raised that up because she was saying the way the American think is different than the UK. But when you think about it as well, when interacting online or whatever, almost always, if you take the monarchy out of the conversation, majority of the Brits and Americans have the same type of views on things, on social issues. Okay, this is why I said let's take the monarchy out of that conversation. But many, you know, still cherish the monarchy. But other topics, other issues, social issues, justice, and all of that, we almost the same way. All right, but let's listen.
For the majority of Britain, you clearly speak for the Democratic Party and for Jeremy Vine. But the truth is, and I think that's what I was trying to get to the bottom of, American voters think differently from us. They delivered Trump, and they may well deliver Trump again. And that was, they stormed the White House. Do you not remember this?
What do you think, Inga? What do you think? We're going to let you go in a second, but do you think Kamala can do it? Yes or no?
Absolutely, and thank you to your caller from Manchester. Mm-hmm. What amazing points. And I'm really glad he brought up Project 2025 because, man, if anything is going to help kill the Trump candidacy, it's going to be that. Once people cotton on to what he's planning for America, and he can deny the association, but no, I really think it's very important what's happening there, and I think Kamala's going to be an excellent candidate, and I think we're all going to be pretty excited about the process going forward.
Okay, so that's that. Let me read some of the comments and then move on. Okay, even after Trump said it was extreme. But first, on Vile, you've got a convicted felon against the prosecutor who will be panicking now. All right, well, Paul from Manchester, the TQ is very anti-woman. Anti-woman too, trans women are men. Okay, definitely after this. Think Trump will win on one point. Rebuilding the wall. Who needs a green card these days in the US? You just go and via Mexico. An estimate of 4 million so far, then ordinary Americans, whether they like Republicans or not, will vote on what they see happen on their street. Okay, the trans agenda is anti-women. Okay, while 2025 aims to control women's choices and lives, it's also how the USA will be governed in the future and by whom. It's also very anti-green and all association industry that have grown around it. Very anti-climate change, very isolationist, and very regressive. Okay, so that's that. I definitely gonna have to create 2 videos. These 2 tweets will be on IP Team Sussex. The things that I say I wasn't gonna talk about. Next tweet. Okay, so there's that. Let's pause. Okay, he is speaking from his heart. Biden, I know yesterday's news was surprising and it's hard for you to hear, but it was the right thing to do. I think we made the right decision. All right, so he probably thought about the overall prospect of things, the perspective of things, the way, you know, shaping up America moving forward. A lot of people are very angry at what Trump is about because we already have an experience of Trump presidency already. Okay, so we understand and we know what he's all about. And the other thing many people need to understand, even if it's not Trump who's running, it doesn't matter. The GOP, they've been on this project 2025 forever. They're destroying the school, they're destroying everything that makes America great. So they've been at it already. So now that, you know, the cat is out of the bag, the mask is off, so they're going full blown with their idea. All right. So the main thing is Americans have already have an experience of Trump's presidency. But the thing is that for the GOP, it doesn't matter who wins or who's in the White House. Their goal, their aim remain the same. Okay, tax break for the rich, all sort of craziness. They already in. All right, but let's listen. It's 1 minute and 7 seconds.
I want people to remember that what we have done has been incredible, and we get so much more we're going to get done. And so I want to say hello to Kamala if she can hear me. I know she's going to be speaking shortly, and I want to say to the team, embrace her. She's the best. I want to call today to thank everybody in this effort. I know yesterday's news is surprising, and it was hard for you to hear, but it was the right thing to do. It's
again, this is the other thing as well, is that he's not power hungry like Trump. Where Trump lost the election, he wanted to remain there until he's dead. It's not like that with Joe Biden. He's looking out for the rest of the country. And he saw the cry out, even though it was a very few who was making the noises for him to drop out. And then the enthusiasm wasn't there. So he put 1 and 1 together, probably had a discussion with his wife, and decided this is the best thing to do for the country. And there he is supporting and, you know, his vice president for the nominee, and then she just won the nomination. The delegation came a couple hours ago. All right, so let's finish listening.
I know it's hard because you poured your heart and soul into me to help us win this thing, help me get this nomination, help me win the nomination, and then go on to win the presidency. But you know, you're an amazing team. But we've got a great. I think we made the right decision. I know how hard you've worked, how many sacrifices you made, and so many of you uprooted your lives for me, and the kind of commitments few people make for anything these days, but you made it. And I've been honored and humbled. I mean this from the bottom of my heart. My word is a Biden, that for all you've done for me and my family. And you.
Okay, so that's that. Okay, so there's all of that. I mean, we just need to move forward. He made the decision. He's not a selfish person. And we know what is at stake now. We know what is at stake. People's lives. And the worst thing, people's lives are in jeopardy with Trump. Look how many people who die that they have to because of his careless act of not carrying out what President Obama left for the country. The blueprint to prevent a pandemic from happening. He just sit back and let it come in. Okay? So he's not a selfish person. And then let's not forget as well the people who have died for all of the information to keep America for what it is. And this guy, Trump, didn't care. Classified documents, didn't care. Okay? When someone don't care, that means They don't give a shit about anything. It's very dangerous. Some people have to have some sort of a feeling behind certain things. We must honor those who have died before us, who signed the dotted line to enlist in the armed forces, to risk the ultimate sacrifice, to keep democracy, to defend our country. And this guy didn't care about all the people who did all of the stuff to get us where we are now. But instead, they want to go back. And I hope many Republicans rethink their way of thinking. Because many of them have their children who join in. They need to rethink the way they process their things. How each president but then again, when I didn't watch the convention, the GOP convention, because for them it's always fight, 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 fight. But when President Obama, again, I'm gonna stop now. Okay, I'm gonna go to PYTE and do the other videos because I did not want to talk about politics. So President Biden step aside and give his full support for Kamala Harris. And then Kamala Harris just won the nomination, the delegation that was required for her to be the nominee to represent the Democratic Party. So people are behind her. So now all she needs to do is look for a vice president. And for me, what I think who she should choose, who's already in Biden's administration, what's his name? Let me look for his name. Let me make sure I'm recording. Pete Buttigieg. Okay, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. So he should be, I think, the VP, because he's doing a wonderful job with his position right now, Secretary of Transportation. He's doing a wonderful job. So that's who I think she should choose as her VP. And then that will pretty much give the world example, how will I say that? The fabric, what America is all about. A white man who's gay, African American whose ancestors, I believe, Kamala Harris, I think her mother's from India and her father, I believe, is from Jamaica. So this is what America is all about. And then from there, we add on to it. Move progressively as we go further. But anyway, so that's that. I have more tweets, but since I'm talking about politics, which I said I wasn't going to talk about, I'm going to put these 2 tweets on Team Sussex. Let me see what the third one is about, if it's politics as well. Let me see here. I see LOL. Harry LOL. So it's probably not about politics. No, it's not about politics. So I'm going to start this on PYTE.
But wait! There's more!
Alright, so I've shared that on my community board. Let me play it for the sake of Team Sussex. I'll take it out. Okay, Home Secretary Yvette Cooper says the true cost of the Rwanda scheme so far has been £700 million. She says the Tories had planned to spend $10 billion in total on the scheme, a number that had not been relayed to Parliament. Alright, so I'm gonna play it for the sake of the video since I shared it on my community board.
Let me return to the Rwanda Migration and Economic Development Partnership. So 2.5 years after the previous government launched it, I can report it has already cost the British taxpayer £700 million in order to send just 4 volunteers.
What? Just 4 volunteers cost $700 million? They need to check where that money went. $700 million. Oh my God. Let's listen. I guess the UK did right the way they vote. They're going right to business. Let's listen.
Those costs include £290 million payments to Rwanda, chartering flights that never took off, detaining hundreds of people and then releasing them, and paying for more than 1,000 civil servants to work on the scheme. A scheme to send 4 people. It is the most shocking waste of taxpayers' money I have ever seen. Looking forward, the costs are set to get worse. Even if the scheme had ever got going, it's clear it would only cover a minority of arrivals. Yet a substantial portion of future costs were fixed costs. For example, the annual direct payments to Rwanda, the contracts for escorts, the staffing in the Home Office, the detention and reception centres and more. So the taxpayer would still have to pay out no matter how few people were relocated. And most shocking of all, over the 6 years of the Migration and Economic Development Partnership forecast, the previous government had planned to spend over £10 billion of taxpayers' money on the scheme.
Wow.
They did not tell Parliament that. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the Rwandan government for working with the UK in good faith, because the failure for this policy lies with the previous UK government. It has been a costly con, and the taxpayer has had to pay the price.
That's very well put. Okay, not blaming the Rwanda government, but they were willing to, I mean, you see that money coming in. That's a good deal for them, looking out for themselves as well. But whatever the scheme that she's saying here, the UK government was trying to do, wow. But anyway, that said, this part is going to be on APTS Sussex. I'm going to remove it. And so that's that. Okay, so that's pretty much it. So for this video, that's it. Please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. And there's a possibility I might create a membership. So be on the lookout for that. Okay, so that's it. Thank you for watching. And go on PYTE. I'm going to do the next video.
It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
Find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life. You are all in this together, and if I may speak personally, we are all in this together, because asking for help was one of the best decisions that I ever made. You will be continually amazed how life changes for the better